Hello world, welcome to the RNR podcast. So glad you are here.
Good morning, peeps. Welcome to another episode here in the R&R studios. Rich and I do something crazy, talk about stupid shit that we bought, and just have a good time. Thank you all for following along, and let's get into it. What are we up to today, Rich?
Ryan, did you just say y'all?
I did.
You're supposed to be saying yuns based upon your geographic background and everything. I'm the y'all guy. Where'd that come? I guess you always say y'all, don't you?
I kind of do. I'm in the middle, right? Because I'm in the South technically, because I am in Virginia. I grew up in Pennsylvania, but I am in the South.
Hold on. I got to go to maps. I got to go to maps.google.com. Hold on. I got to see. Hold on. Why didn't you just take me there? Why are you trying to be so smart, internet? Okay, let's look up Virginia on this.
It is the South.
Oh, I don't know, man. North Carolina. There's a reason it says north in the name, because it's in the north.
No. Virginia is Virginia. There's Northern Virginia, but that's still part of Virginia. We are below the Mason-Dixon line.
Okay, well then you got it. Yeah, you're below the Mason-Dixon line. Because we're not going to get into who fought on what side of the war way back in the day. We're just not going to go there. That's not the podcast.
No, that definitely not. I think we're technically still part of the maybe Mid-Atlantic. I'm not really sure, but it is the South.
But you do get y'all anytime you want, because it's really a great little word, isn't it?
It is. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
I know. Well, I got us all off topic because we were talking about stupid shit we buy. And I've got a great one, and it has a really awesome story around it too, about when I purchased it, and then when Ryan called me about some other things. And it's all going to make sense to Ryan in a minute. Now, Ryan, would you like to close your? We're on video, everyone, too. So, Ryan, would you like to close your eyes, then have you tell when to open, or do you want to watch this thing come up on screen?
Oh man, I'm going to look down for a second.
Okay.
And then we're going to go. Then you're going to tell me to look up, and it's going to be good.
Don't look yet. Don't look yet. Don't look.
I'm not.
Are you ready, Ryan? Look.
I think I'm ready.
Look.
Oh, you got one.
What? I'm holding a Commodore SX64 luggable is what I would call it, right?
You picked one up. Where'd you get that at?
So this is what's really funny is it showed up on Craigslist about a week before the one you pinged me about. And I remember you pinged me about the one. And the one he pinged me about, everybody, sounds like it was a runner. Like you just show up, you buy it, you take it home, and you got a runner. Yep. And so I did give you what I probably would say anyways, which is I don't know if I want one that just works, right? I don't think I want one that just works. This one was a great deal in the sense that it powers on. The tube works.
That's cool.
I don't know. Oh no, he did. Did he? Yes, he did. It was trying to load even. He didn't have a keyboard for it. So when I showed up to pick it up, I had to drive 2 hours to get it.
Oh wow!
When I went to go get it, he had a shop like mine. There was a house and there was the big shop. It's like you know my shop. Imagine like 4 of my shops. That's his shop.
Right.
And he had a little house built into it. Like I guess at one time someone probably stayed there. They had like a living room and a bathroom and a bedroom. It was like it was like a trail boss house. You know what I mean? Built into it.
Oh.
He was taking apart some cabling and soldering things up because he had heard about this project where you could take a Commodore 64 keyboard, match the pinouts to a DB25, and slip it in the keyboard port. And you could then use a bread bin C64 as the keyboard to your SX64.
Oh, interesting.
So I show up. He's doing this work on the thing, and he's like, hey, do you mind if you look around? Maybe there's some other things to buy that you might want to get a hold of. And sure enough, I bought a PET Commodore 64 tape drive.
Okay. That's funny.
And he built his cable as quick as he could. He then hooked his bread bin. We turned on the SX64. About half the keyboard worked. So when he was touching the buttons, like if you look at like the V, G, Y kind of line,
Right.
Things on the right side of the keyboard were working fine. Things on the left side weren't. So
oh, no.
he just thought he had a pin issue and said, okay, thanks for letting me try this, blah, blah, blah. Because again, he was doing it really quick, man. He's doing this little bit of soldering really fast. And he just wanted to see if that really worked as a project. And I was like, that's exactly what I found on the internet too.
Okay.
So I told you about Salvation Army 64 and how I just pulled the chips off and I was just putting the board up. And, maybe someday in the future, or maybe I'll take it to a VCF and give it away. Because it's the board I think is screwed. But I got a case with a perfectly working keyboard. Because I tested the keyboard on my Build 64. That keyboard works great. So I now have the perfect donor bread bin box with a keyboard to try this cabling trick to the SX64. I think I'm going to buy a cap kit. When he was doing the wrong keys, it went into load and you could see it trying to hit the drive when that happened. So we think the drive might be good too, but I don't know yet. I still need to figure that out. But dude, I started the finish of the Holy Grail. I really wanted an SX64, and who knows, I might find a good keyboard one day too, Ryan.
You never know. I mean, that's a nice pickup. Hopefully, you're happy with it. Obviously, it came to your house.
$250. And I want just so we talk, and just so anybody that's listening, well, how much did you pay for a working SX64 without a keyboard? $250. So I felt it was a fair price. I don't think I walked away with a deal of the century. No. But it was, something I wanted to add to my collection, and it was working enough to match my level of expertise.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tube works. Yes. The tube worked. It was so awesome. We turned it on. I'm like, this is just awesome. I can't wait. So
great.
I'm totally stoked. That's going to be coming up. And I have cleared Salvation Army 64 off the bench. Tested all the chips I could test. I may be repeating myself now. I tested all the chips I could test. I put all the other ones up. I got everything sorted. I got them listed with their U number and then also their purpose. So their U number and logic chip, their U number and RAM. So I now have items available for testing in the future. And remember all those little dots someone put on the chips?
Yes.
The black dots on the chips I tested that were good were black dots. So that maybe means all the RAM chips I can't test that have black dots are good RAM too. But I'll have to figure that out a little further down the road.
Oh, cool. I like it. So now I have a question. So you're going to use that 64's keyboard for your SX64. That's pretty much set in stone. And that's awesome that you can actually do that. Will that keyboard fit? Say you 3D print a keyboard case. Can you put that thing in it and will it?
I've been thinking the same thing, Ryan, and I looked on Thingiverse at some of the things around what was available for the SX64. Sure. I haven't seen enough yet to make that determination because I'm going to have to call you about that printing because my resin printer will do things, but it's a lot more fragile. My resin printers are making something that then you just lightly play with, like a mini or maybe some base dice that then you mold and then you pour resin, blah, blah, blah. So
100%.
If I do get there, I either have to call you or I got to order it just from Thingiverse. But I haven't got down to the dimensions yet, but that is in my mind. That is in my brain.
Okay. If we get there and we can model something in pieces that fit on my printer, we can definitely print it, ship it to you, see if that's actually going to be a basic thing.
Oh, that could be the problem then even for you is the pan size.
Right. My print bed's still only so big. So you might have to do it in two pieces.
Order it.
Or do it in two pieces and design it in a way where they'll snap together a long way. And then you can take it apart and get the keyboard out of it too.
You are so smart. That sounds like a great idea. Once I get the keyboard working, I'll ping you. My plan on the bread bin case is to totally use my Cricut to print out some lines. You know what I mean? Or use the pinstriping. But I'm going to make it the same kind of, what is this, black and silver tone. So I think I'm going to be painting the bread bin base to match that. And this might be the first thing I ever feel comfortable taking to a VCF with a little thing on the side, right? Talking about the project, showing off the schematics, I have never seen at any of our travels someone has an SX64 with a bread bin adapted to be the keyboard.
No, I don't think I've seen one either. I've actually only ever seen a couple SX64s in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how many were made, and I imagine it's some small number relatively. But that's an awesome pickup. Very happy for you. I'm glad you got that, man.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think the project's a fun one that I would love to share, because all my other projects, like putting the switch on a 1541, everybody does that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this is kind of a unique little thing. So
yeah.
we'll see. I'll report back after I get to this point of having it on my bench and doing some testing. But I couldn't tell you about it, dude. I've been dying for 2 weeks to tell you about this.
That's
and
awesome.
Then you sent me the link to the real one, and you're like, dude, look at this. Look at this. Oh, and everyone, we do Gen Con, as we talked about, and I was the big ticket winner. And so like Ryan like literally paid me back all the monies to go buy the other one. So he's like, dude, I just paid you back for tickets. You got all that money sitting in PayPal. You should go do that.
Right. Exactly.
You were making so many good arguments. It was so hard for me just not to say, I got one, bro.
Well, you could have had two.
That's right. I could have two.
You could have had the Project SX64 and, oh my God, it's working SX64. And then you could have been doing a comparison between them at your display. Like, here's a perfect SX64, and then here's my Hackin 64.
I did have a fun time with work. The folks, were on video, so Ryan can see. This is also my workplace where I work from for work, and I do a lot of video conferencing. So I have behind me like a 128, a +4, a 64, and a Commodore calculator, an old school Commodore calculator back there. And one of the people on one of my work calls goes, "Oh, Commodore, my first Commodore was one of these ones that had the handle." And I was like, "You mean like this?" And I pulled up from the floor. And everyone's like, "Rich, how many computers do you have that I can't see right now sitting around you?"
If you only knew. If you
only knew that answer. But yes, that was my crazy, stupid shit Rich buys.
I like it.
I think it was better than the last one. In other words, this one actually has a little more basis in reality than my last stupid shit Rich buy.
I don't think this was a drunk buy like the last one.
I know.
This was cool, it showed up. I'm going to call this more of Rich buys stuff instead of stupid shit Rich buys.
Yeah.
I mean, this is in the realm of things you wanted, and I love it. So this is real. This is not like, hey, look at this. I bought an Altair or an MSI or whatever. I'm like, dude, that's the other one. You bought the wrong one.
I bought the wrong one. I know.
I know.
Thanks for remembering. But
I'm here for you.
You bought some stuff too that was fun and project related. What's on your bench?
Well, I picked up a couple things. I don't know. I found some. I have two or three different things actually. Now that I think about it. I found somebody getting rid of a whole bunch of zip drives. I've kind of gone into this zip drive thing.
Yeah.
So I have some stuff that's working lately. A USB zip drive on my Mac, my M1 Mac, which will read fat, formatted floppies.
That's pretty cool.
I have stuff configured on an Amiga 2000 using an external SCSI zip drive, and on my 4000 Tower an internal IDE zip drive. They're all 100 meg zips that I can actually put stuff on fat formatted from my Mac, eject the disk, and stick it into my Amiga, and it'll read it.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. There'll be stuff coming out of my blog soon. I know I've said that before. I'm finishing up some touches. I ran into some hiccups, and I'm trying to work out why some things work sometimes and didn't work the others. So I'm still working through that. But I picked up I think around 13 zip disks from a person locally. They were just getting rid of them. So I said to show up, pick them up, come get them. The other thing that came with them is 4 of these little Dynamo 128 megabyte rewritable magneto optical discs. They're like a small version of your big disc. For those we've talked about this, that he goes and gets signatures. It looks almost exactly the same.
Oh my gosh, Ryan!
Just
It
a
does.
smaller 3.5-inch form factor versus like a 8-inch.
I think that's 12-inch, man. I think
Maybe
that's
it's
a
12.
12-inch platter. It barely fits in my little carry bag. Yeah, I think that's be about 14 inches wide. Yeah, at least.
This just looks like a big 3.5-inch floppy disk, and it actually has a read-write protector on it as well, just like a 3.5-inch floppy. I just noticed that now. I don't have a drive for it, but I found a couple on eBay. This seemed to be more popular in Japan, from what I can tell. They're a Fujitsu branded stuff, and all the drives I'm seeing are Fujitsu branded. But I have talked to some other local people that have used them in businesses and things. I just haven't seen these before. I thought it was cool. There was 4 of them in there. I have no idea what's on them. I don't have a drive.
Well, you'll get one, and you'll find out.
That's on my list. They're ranging in the $100 to $200 range for a drive. It looks like it'll be able to read this. So it's coming. It's a future project. Found these discs. These are cool. They look really neat. I want to play with them. I just want to see what's on them. What's going on?
And that was also back in the day of I'm going to just go with like the Betamax VHS, right? And then VHS just won. And everyone who's maybe new to the retro scene learns about all these medias as they're doing them. We lived going through all these media changes. I remember when 100%. My zip drive was the bomb, and then the next thing was the bomb, and then the next thing was the bomb. Whereas now we're just getting bigger USB and bigger SD cards.
Correct.
It doesn't seem to be changing. The input mechanism isn't changing.
No.
Am I saying this right?
I think so. The USB has really been a thing that's been a huge leap forward on computing. In my opinion, prior to USB, the thing that was as close to USB as I can think of is SCSI.
Yeah.
Because SCSI had hard drives, SCSI had scanners. I don't really know if it had printers or not, but it had a lot of things that were SCSI devices.
And you could chain them.
And you can chain them together, and it worked out pretty well. So, I had a Betamax player. I had a recorder, like VCR, but Betamax growing up. It was great. So it's just more of things are changing, and I'm just finding these older things that people are like, I don't want this anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. It was great. Guy set it out on his porch. I came by, just grabbed it, and off I was. And I was like, thanks.
And you know what's great about I'm segueing. You ready for this? You ready? I'm bouncing off what you just said. We didn't plan this. I just feel this is a perfect segue.
Perfect.
So, you know what's great about all these media types you're chatting about and getting old stuff from people is you have a chance to read it, determine what's on it, destroy personal information, but then things that are utilities, things that are forgotten programs, things that are handwritten programs, you get to uncover. And then you get to go to the Internet Archive.
Exactly.
And I did that while you've been gone.
Oh, you put some stuff up on the Internet Archive?
There is now a High Shelf Rich on the Internet Archive. And the first thing I did was go, how come I'm allowed to post all these games? Because, I'm sitting there using my 1541 and my Pi, my 1541 Pi. So I have 2 drives. Yep. And I'm putting the disc in. I'm using, oh my God, remember all those discs you gave me?
Oh, yeah.
The Copy Plus 2 program works perfect. So I literally put the Copy Plus 2 program in the regular drive, load it up, put in my target to be copied, copy it to my target D64 on the 1541, and then just bring it back to my desk. And I upload the D64 right to Internet Archives. And I did some reading, and there has been something oh gosh, Ryan, I need to put it in the show notes, but I found in the Internet Archive where they got an exception on copyright about holding on to games and programs in media that's destroying itself. So that's kind of the key, is it's in media that just can't live forever. And the only way we're going to get it off is to get it up in the Internet Archive, because the floppy is going to die one day. It is, they're all going to die one day.
All this stuff. Yes. 100%. Yeah, and that's awesome. I'm glad. How much stuff did you get up there?
Are you looking up High Shelf Rich on the Internet Archive?
I am not.
Oh, I got about 6-7 things so far.
Okay.
Copy program, a genealogy program, some other typing tutor, an invader typing game. Just some of the ones I started going through the discs, and
that's awesome.
I realized that it's a long, laborious process of love.
Oh, sure. You got to go look. Does this thing already exist up there? Is it worth adding it again? Is it all that stuff?
Yeah, and it's tough. I tried doing some of that, and I was like, okay, these ones I haven't seen. I'm just putting them up. But like I got Epic Summer Games. That's there. They don't need me to put Epic Summer Games up, right? Someone else has done it. 2 other people have done it. Yeah. So how much do you know about the Internet Archive?
I know a little bit. I've seen a lot of Amiga stuff up there. I'll look for things. I've seen people be posting in groups where here's a link to a magazine, an old Amiga magazine, or old Amiga software, whatever. There's a lot of stuff up there. I'm really impressed with Internet Archive. I think it's a great mission. This stuff is 30, 40, 50 years old. It's got to get saved, and it's got to go somewhere, and these guys are doing it. So that's really, really cool to be able to keep some of this stuff alive, because there are people that are intrigued with this older hardware and want to go play with it. Well, you need to have some software to go with it and bring back those days and go play with it. Should we make any money off of it? This is all just a labor of love, archivist kind of role at this point. I don't want to see anybody selling any of this stuff. That's not what it's for.
Yeah,
that's what copy protection's for. Copyrights.
It's amazing. They just let you have a free account and you can just start filling space. I work in a business where software is a service, and space costs money. It may not be a lot in some cases, like this Internet Archive. Boy, it's really slow putting things in. So it's not top tier storage locations, but it still costs money. So I did my first Internet Archive donation that I was like, you know what? I would just give them a quick little couple bucks and that kind of jazz. So yeah, that was fun. Now, I don't think that's all you bought that let me segue over to the idea of talking about Internet Archive. I think you got a follow-up on this stuff you buy.
I did. I actually, I have my Amiga 1000, and I took it apart when I got it. This was like the second Amiga I picked up a year and a half ago or so. Something like, I think it was around then. And I really, want to get back to that and start putting some stuff into it and modify it. So there's a thing called a PyStorm out there.
Oh, yeah.
That when you pop it in the accelerator or the CPU slot, and it gives you an RTG video, which is retargetable graphics in Amiga world. You can actually get a SCSI hard drive. You can see some of the fast memory from it. So I got the PyStorm. It's an open source thing. I had 5 PyStorms built from JCL PCB, and I uploaded the BOM, and they put all of the chips on it for me.
What?
And they shipped them to me. It took it about a week and a half from when I uploaded it for the stuff to get here. I need the pins and the little connector for the Pi. That's coming. That should be here Sunday, or in a couple of days from us recording this. And then I have to go solder those onto the board. They wouldn't put those on, or that's not a thing that they did. So I'll have to solder, I don't know, probably like 80 pins or 100 pins or something like that. But I'm looking forward to putting that into my 1000, plugging in that RTG card, and getting that all to work. This is the second thing I've built from PCB like this, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is a project.
That is pretty cool that you can get it to where they just have everything ready for you to go.
Yeah, it was great. It was super, relatively cheap, all for all practical purposes. I had a $20 coupon. Hey, thanks for coming to JCL. With it, the board's made using the standard green. I didn't change the colors. And putting the components on it, soldering them on it. and shipping it was, I think it was $90 for 5 of them.
I just want everyone to know we would always be glad to say during this podcast, JLC PCB for sponsorship. So JCL PCB, if you want to sponsor us, just let us know.
Right. I mean, you want to give us something, that's cool. So I have that one going on, and in the future, I'm thinking of doing some RGB to HDMIs.
Oh.
For put one in the 1000 and a couple of my 2000s, 500s. But I haven't gotten that far yet. I want to work through this project to see what I could do with it and fully deck out to see, do I really need the RGB to HDMI in there, which I probably do, and then try to just one project at a time.
Yeah, I understand the feeling completely. One project at a time. Sometimes it gets a little overpowering.
Very much so.
In the sense of all the projects.
I was really impressed. The project for the PiStorm had been great. They had the Gerber's file, which is what you use to create the layout of the PCB, and there was a BOM spreadsheet. So JCL PCB, you upload the Gerber's file and it goes up. Here's all the stuff. It has the definitions of the layers. It has all the stuff labeled, and you click on a little button that says, "Hey, I want you to add the components." It goes, okay, we'll upload your BOMs. You upload this Excel spreadsheet, and it goes, okay, cool. They're all labeled. Here, I'm going to put these components in these spots. And it just does it. You go, okay. And we're done. And it took, as I said, it took about a week by the time to build the board. And then it was under a week to build the board, and a few more days to actually add the components to it, and then shipping to get it down here. I had it in a week and a half after I submitted the order.
Unbelievable.
I'm really, really surprised.
That's very quick. That's very quick. When you think about a manufacturing process, even though this is small manufacturing, someone has to get your order. Someone has to go get the parts. Someone has to get the piece. Someone has to get that cut. Someone has to get this layered. Someone has to put it in this machine. Someone has to let it go. That's a lot of stuff to do in a week.
Yeah, they're just hauling butt. I don't know how automated they have this process or anything, but it was super cool. And there's this little tracking thing you could log on and see the little bar going across. And,
like ordering pizza.
Yeah, it really was. I forgot about it. And next thing I know, it's like, hey, your order's shipped. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was here 3 days later.
Dude, that's a great win. That's a great win.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's a project I'm really looking forward to. I still have my 1000, the case off and the stuff out. So I want to actually go get this thing started to be cleaned up and get this in there and see what I can do with it. I know it works because I turned it on and I've gotten the Kickstart ROMs to come up, put the disk in for the Kickstart ROMs. With the PiStorm, you don't need to do that. You can put the ROMs on the PiStorm itself and then pick between the different ROMs, which I own. I bought them all from Planto, so I actually own all the different Amiga ROMs. And go boot them up. I mean, there are some limitations of a 1000 compared to a 500 and a 2000 and newer stuff, but the processor is going to be super fast because that Pi emulates everything amazingly fast. And I was at Micro Center walking around a couple weeks ago, and they had a Pi 3A, which is what the PiStorm uses. I'm like, oh, well, I'll buy one of these. I'll need this at some point. Well, now I have the PiStorm here.
Excellent.
So be putting the components together. It's a project. It'll be coming up. It'll be a couple weeks, I imagine, before I actually get it onto my desk and clean, do all the stuff I need to do with it. But
and then
really nice.
We all want a blog post when you're done too.
Yes, I'll have to work through that. I got to finish up my the zip drive one and then move on to this as well. So that's the other thing I bought. I mean, the zip disks and these Dynamo discs, those were actually freebies. I just found them on Facebook.
That's amazing.
Dumb luck. I look for zip discs every once in a while. I know you wanted a couple, so I'll ship a couple your way when I see you.
Yeah. Yep. I have equipment I need to test that's a zip drive that's parallel based. But I have no zip drives. I just have players. And so it's but I don't want to go on eBay and just buy them. I guess I could, but if you have a couple extra, we can make a trade.
Yes, we can definitely work that out. Not a big deal.
So I think that kind of brings me to the end of my crazy stuff that I've done. I've got a crazy upcoming. Oh, Ryan, this one's going to go a little bit long. You know what auction's over?
Oh, how did the Paul Allen stuff go?
All right, I got everything loaded up. We had to take a little break there for me to get things figured out. Dude,
Nice.
There were some crazy things. There was the group of 6 calculators that was up there. And they were just like bench calculators, old calculators. $52,000.
Are you kidding me?
No, there was. Where is the microcomputers? I'm just going to slip down to that thing of 9. And again, we talked about this maybe offline, that some of these smaller things could go higher based upon people not having space that want something for their collection, right? The tape, ticker tape. What's the tape? Paper tape. Yeah, that you use for programming that has Space War on it. $18,000.
What?
Yeah, the 2 chess books that I bid on that I was like, maybe I'd make a run on those. $5,000.
You kidding me?
No, I'm not, dude. These are the done prices. Let's get to the microcomputers and we'll stop this. All right, the microcomputers that we talked, and I was like, man, I could see going 5 something on those 9 microcomputers. Has a VIC, it has that old PET you would want. I could see having some of that. And then we were talking about what do you really want to collect? What makes you happy versus just spending money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Those 9 computers, $48,000.
That is crazy. I can't. Okay.
Ken Bach 1, $120,000. Okay, I'm going to tell you. We talked about the magazines, right? That was something. Byte magazines, $9,000.
What?
Popular Electronics, $4,000. And let's see where the one child, one laptop ended up. I was holding tight on that one at $200 for a long time. And it finally lost me on the last day. And someone probably got it for $300. Let's see. Because it was, it was small enough that I would like that to be part of something that I could move around. $882. Yeah. So I got to bid on it and I got to have fun talking with you about it. But it's over and I got nothing, dear listener. I got nothing.
It's okay because you got your SX64.
That's right.
Which is probably going to bring you more happiness anyway.
Yeah, I know. One's just about owning something like that, but it's not worth it long term. But yeah, that was a good ending. So that's the ending of my stuff that's happened since we've talked last.
Okay. Well, a little birdie told me that you're going to go on a trip. Where are you going?
Oh, we have another trip episode to do, Ryan, because you got back from a trip too. So hold your trip for when I get back. I'm off to Deutschland, mein Freunden. Mein Freund. Yeah, mein Freund. Everybody correct me in the comments below. Yes, I'm heading off to Deutschland. We're going to go there early and we're going to hit the Black Forest. And then we're going to end up over at Munich for Oktoberfest. And one of the museums I have listed is a Zeppelin museum that has a reproduction of the Hindenburg interior.
Okay.
How about that?
That sounds pretty cool.
And then, of course, the Dutch Museum or the Deutsch Museum. We'll go into the German museum there in Munich also. But yes, so I've got big trip. And by the way, if I had to pick a way to spend $5,000, going to Germany is a lot better pick of $5,000.
Yes, I agree. That sounds like so much more fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a great time. I'm really looking forward to hearing about it. I know hopefully you're all packed because from our recording to when you depart is what, less than 24 hours?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to crank out the edits on this one today because I leave tomorrow morning. And yes, I'm completely packed. My bag's completely packed. My carry-on is 90% ready. So perfect. You know how I am, dude. I make a list. I go through the list. I do everything. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to come back and maybe see what kind of retro things I can run into while I'm in Germany also.
Bring me back some Amiga stuff. It'll be great.
That'd be great. I'll check all the – we like to go into the little secondhand stores and all that too. So you never know what you're going to find.
You never know. And for me, Amiga stuff was very popular in Germany.
Yes.
Still is in Germany. So you never know what you're going to find over there.
Well, I will leave clothes to make sure I can bring other things back in my bag.
Perfect. Go find a boot sale, or maybe that's only England. I'm not sure, but find some good stuff, man. I love it.
I'll try.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about time. I appreciate you guys all for following along with us and coming on out, and we look forward to another one here in the future.
Talk to you all soon. Bye.